Hey, what's going on? Today we have another amazing episode. The only thing was that the video got messed up a little bit when it was recorded, so I'm doing this quick intro. You're only going to see Marianne here, and we're going to hear my voice, of course. I'm asking the interview questions, but just wanted to create this quick intro because you won't be seeing me on the whole pod. So enjoy the episode, and here's Marianne. All right, welcome to another episode. Today we have Marianne. She's an optometrist and eye doctor, but her true passion is being an entrepreneur. She's very passionate about teaching people this idea of ascension and also Auramaxing, amongst other things. So, um, Marianne, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes, of course. Well, there's so many routes we can take this, but I think one of the more maybe interesting ones is this last concept of like Auramaxing, especially as an optometrist, right? Where it was a very traditional path. How did that whole thing come about?
Well, I guess over the years, I really just started having an awakening to how much there is beyond the physical realm and
Mm,
realizing there's energy all around us. We can't see it. There's so much more than meets the eye. The
mm,
human eye can only see like 0.002 something what of the electromagnetic spectrum. And so
yes.
I realized there's so much more and that everyone has an energy field and we are so much more
Mm,
powerful than people think. We are like all walking magnetic fields of we just have so much infinite potential. And
mm,
aura maxing is a concept that is just maxing out your energy to be the highest frequency, the highest version of yourself, instead
mm.
of being brought down by everything in the world, which it's a challenge to maintain a high frequency amidst the chaos of this world. But I want to help people rise up into their highest potential in every
Mm.
possible way.
I love that. So, because there is a lot going on, we don't have to name the events, but
Mhm.
how do you stay in a maybe not perfect high frequency state all the time, but how do you get back into this energetic and just kind of maybe fluid self?
That is an amazing question. I think really needs to be talked about because it's so chaotic in this world. And I go through a lot of ups and downs when I get too caught up in the world. So
Yeah.
every morning, I do not look at my phone. I will wake up and I will do meditation, breath work, yoga, journaling.
Yes.
And I just really like to start off on that foot so that I am the one starting my day off instead of opening apps and letting the apps control what I'm seeing. So that really
Oh.
helps me. And then over throughout the day, I like to do meditation and breath work as well. Grounding is very
Mm,
important for me as well because sometimes I get kind of caught up in the higher realms, you could say.
I
So,
know.
grounding my energy down and then just really not trying to not get too caught up in what's going on. But I'm really in the process right now of trying to find a balance because
Mm,
there was like the past week, I got so caught up in the world that my frequency was noticeably down because I was heartbroken for innocent people and all of these things. And
mm,
it really brought me down and it took away from what I am building and what I am focusing on. So
yeah.
I'm trying to find a balance of how much I focus on each thing because I don't want to completely shut out the world. I've
Yeah.
done that before. And
Mm,
you live in your own little bubble, but then I don't know what's going on. And so that's what I think is
yes.
important to find a balance and just try to
Yeah.
stay grounded.
I know for sure, and I think it's important to talk about this idea of balance or harmony, right? Or just like integrating both worlds, because what I've seen also is people go off maybe using the word the deep end, and then you catch up with them and you're like, what happened here, right? So, how do you stay rooted? What do you say to yourself, or how do you like really have a sense of self-awareness whenever you're leaning too much in one direction?
Yeah, that's a good question because I'm still trying to navigate that. And I learned a lot over the past week because it's easy to go down the rabbit holes and down the thoughts that were
Yes.
doomed. And a lot of times I'll scroll on threads and I'll see people doing a lot of fear mongering. And
Yeah.
that actually gets in my head sometimes. They say
Mhm.
stock up on all this stuff. And
I
I just
know.
have to tell myself, not in my timeline, which comes across as a little
Mm.
delusional sometimes. But I walk around every day with the knowing that I am in my highest timeline. And I really just always believe everything is working out for me and also that I'm divinely protected. And I have
Mm.
this firm belief that I'm divinely protected because of many things that have happened. And
Right.
I like some people think, oh, you're being naive, you're being delusional, you think you're invincible. But why not have that belief? I do believe we are
Mm.
creators of our reality. I believe that everyone has divine protection the more that they step into that mindset and the more they believe that that's possible for them.
Yeah, absolutely. So whenever, like, even I'm getting chills thinking about it. Like whenever I've
I'm getting
I've
chills too.
I know, like whenever I've been riding a high and winning and just like in a really good momentum, it's easy, right? It's like I believe that, like I am divine. But also whenever I found myself like taking L's and I'm like, what's going on? And maybe I start
Hmm.
to spiral or worry or like fear mongering,
Yep.
it gets in my way. So for you, um, what do you look out for? So then, like, whenever you are kind of maybe in a downward cycle and you're taking some else, how do you get back up to this winning feeling?
Well, one of the biggest things for me is to stop scrolling,
Mm,
which, our algorithms know how to reel us in. And
uh,
so I have not been scrolling much over the past week. The week before, I was on it way too much, going down rabbit holes. I'm very good at pattern recognition and piecing
mm,
things together. And I don't want my energy to be directed at that, although part of me wants to because I want to help speak of the truth and raise
oh,
awareness. But what I do is I try to avoid scrolling and I put my focus back on myself and I really tune into my own energy and into the divine spark within to realize,
mm,
okay, I am here to create abundance for myself and for my love. Like, just I want to create the best life for me because
mm,
abundance is something that helps the whole world. Like, to create abundance for yourself, then you can give back more. And so, really,
mm.
like, kind of honing in on what I want to do and just trying to dive down that path instead of focusing too much on the negatives.
Yeah, because the negative can be so loud, right? It can reel us
Yes.
in. And actually, now that you say that, it's like, well, no wonder they're called Instagram Reels, right? Because
Yes.
like they're like
Yeah.
they're so
I said
they.
that in a video recently. It's like it came to me on video. I was like, oh my gosh, wait, that's why it's called Reels.
Yo, that's good. Okay, so then, from your perspective, why is it important to be in this like high vibrational state? Because sometimes, like even I have had friends who have careers and they're kind of in the world and they're happy at least from the outside looking in, right? But at what point did you shift away from the traditional like an eye doctor to just really stepping into this fullness and just stepping into that like magnetism?
Yes, it's been a gradual journey. So during optometry school is when I really started awakening to how much more there is
Mm,
beyond what people realize. And so it was a gradual journey where I
mm,
started wanting to go more inward, more and more, spend more time in nature, more journaling, more stillness, which for me, I have ADHD, which I don't
mm,
really I don't like the label. I just think it's
mm,
I like to define it as someone who has a lot of potential energy that's waiting to flow in all different directions. And so that's what I
mm,
like to describe it as. And so it was always hard for me to start sitting still at first.
yeah.
But that is what really shifted things for me. The more that I started going within, that is when it all changed for me.
Okay. So this is important, right? Because do you have like a process where you do it in the morning versus the afternoon, or is it like whenever you do feel that you're starting to scroll too much and get distracted?
So anytime I'm feeling off, I like to lay down and get into a meditative state and do breath work. I think breath work really helps
Oh,
cleanse. I also like to visualize the violet flame, which is something I'm
right.
actually here to teach humanity. I have a very deep calling to teach humanity about the violet flame, which
Mm,
it's hard because you can't see it, but I can
mm,
feel it when you
okay.
you call upon this high frequency violet flame. It transmutes density, transmutes negative energy. You imagine it burning through the density, and I feel so much lighter in my energy field. So that really
Mm,
helps. But the best time for me to really tap in to myself is at nighttime. I
oh.
feel like it's harder in the daylight to go within, not always, but nighttime seems to be easier. I don't necessarily know why, although sometimes I wonder if it's because there's less energy on the planet, people are sleeping,
Mm,
because late night is when I feel like I have a clearer channel. I've always noticed that.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, how do you notice that or what happens? You just feel more at ease, you feel more
Yes. Like
mm,
for me, I like to sit on my balcony and really imagine roots of light going down from my root chakra into the core of the earth. And so
mm,
when I do that, I just feel so grounded and then I feel an open channel up to the higher realms. And it just feels like at nighttime is when I can truly give myself the time to not feel like I have anything else going on. So maybe that's why it's easier. But I want
yeah.
to, and especially during the day, it's like 100 degrees. So it's
Oh, really?
doing that outside can be kind of tough. But that's what I've noticed is nighttime, I really get more connected.
Yeah.
And another thing too is, and I don't know why, but I'm getting so like a lot of chills. So it's like this idea of
Yes.
stillness, we live in such a chaotic world and
Hmm.
like we're running around and like, yeah, our phones are going off. And
Yep.
even now, if I can be honest, like I have music playing in the background. And so sometimes it's even rare for me to just like be not just still, but be quiet,
Yes. Yep.
So how has that like impacted you?
Well, first of all, I want to say the chills. I love that you said that because whenever I get chills, I feel like it's the higher realms are present, saying I'm on the right track and like that we're tapping into
Mm,
the divine truth.
that's so good.
And then as far as wait, what was your question again?
Yeah, like this idea of stillness is extremely powerful, right?
Yes.
And also just it kind of it's obvious, but like also not just being still, but being quiet and being very
Hmm.
like present.
Yes.
Like how has
Very
that impacted you?
Very difficult to do at first. I remember I
Mm,
first posted about doing it in 2022 on my TikTok. I posted, guys, you
mm,
have to go be still. And I was like, it's so hard for me. And then I was like doing this and shake. I was like, I can't do it, but I knew I had to. And look at me like 4 years later. And now I'm
mm,
like, that's the biggest thing I've been saying on TikTok is how much it's important to go within. And so at first, it's really difficult. We all have so much going through our mind all the time. So I think for beginners, it's good to maybe start with guided meditations first and breath work to slow everything
mm,
down. Another thing I like to do, so the violet flame helps me kind of
mm,
stabilize my energy field, but imagining like your like brain is all like tangled. Sometimes you can
mm,
do this and imagine combing your it's like you're combing it all into like I don't know how to
yeah,
explain.
yeah.
Try it sometime like you do this and you can like feel as if it's like the brain waves are kind of like going in a
Wow.
yeah, hard to explain, but going
Yeah.
within and being still is, I just think everyone should be doing it. And I really want to help people get to that point because it's so important. And I'm still a work in progress on that too.
Yeah, yeah, and it's always a learning process. So what's interesting is like for me, for example, like I'm in sales, I do sales consulting and leadership consulting. And I've never said this on a podcast before, so I'm so happy you brought it up, but it is using or practicing energy rituals and doing energy work like invoking or calling on the violet flame or the gold light or white
Hmm.
light, all these different. So, practically it's helped me not take on the energy of people that I'm interacting with if they're like their energy is like harsh.
Yes.
But what results, because also let's bring this back to like reality. How
Hmm.
like what results have you gotten from that beyond like, oh well, I feel better, I feel more like relaxed, like how has that helped you overall in your life?
I feel like when I'm in a better energy, like I have better results. For example, like I notice my sales are better when I'm in a
Mm,
higher frequency. I notice things always work out for me.
mm,
Versus if I'm in like a lower state,
like fear and doubt.
yeah, I notice little things that it's hard to explain, but it's like the results are different because I truly believe that our reality is a reflection of our inner state. And so when you change your inner state, your reality has no choice but to reflect that back to you. And I know that's
Mm,
true based on personal experience because when I shifted to the abundance frequency, my
mm.
sales skyrocketed and I had my highest week ever.
Hey, wow. So when you talk about abundance, how do you define that? Because also I feel like there's this idea that abundance can sometimes only be like about money, but
Hmm.
it can also be about other things. Like for you, how do you define abundance? And then how do you know you're in that frequency of like abundance?
Yeah, you're right. It's so much more than just money. It's
Mm,
realizing there's more than enough of everything. Like right now, I'm looking out my window. I see
mm,
an abundance of trees. I see an
mm,
abundance of mountains. And so when you
mm,
really realize there's so much for everyone and you stop feeling that there's not enough money to go around, that there's not enough opportunity. It's just realizing God is abundance, divine source is abundance. There's so much, limitation that we've been programmed
mm,
with. And so I feel like it's really good to like look in nature and view that as abundance. And the biggest code for me recently is realizing that I have all that I need right here and right now. And that is
mm.
also what shifted my sales when I am not feeling like I'm chasing anything.
Oh
Because
wow.
I think to feel like you have everything you need right here and right now, it's hard to explain. I'm still grasping the concept right now, but Have you ever heard people talk about that? Like how you have it all now. I actually have it written down on my wall to remember,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
and that has been a major shift. It's still something I'm
Mm.
grasping though.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard when you it's interesting, right? Like when you don't need anything, you actually get or attract like everything you
Yes.
actually want,
Yes.
right? So I think behind that, and I'm not gonna say it every time I feel it, but I'm like these chills are coming.
I know,
I
I
I
know.
think there's something there around this idea of fullness, just like feeling full and feeling
Yes.
whole and just there's also maybe a little bit of acceptance, like, wait, I am alive,
Yes.
I am blessed, I am like,
Yes.
abundant. So maybe talk about that. Like
Yes.
for you, what else does that represent when you're feeling good and feeling abundant?
Yeah, I actually had a breakthrough on the balcony a couple nights ago, or maybe last week, where I was like, okay, wait, I have everything I need right now. I am in the deepest
Um,
peace. I was grounded while I felt very connected to the higher realms, to God, to source, whatever you want to
mm,
call it, the high, the
yeah.
infinite creator. I was like, in my heart chakra, which I have theorized that when you're in your heart chakra and you're grounded and you're connected to the higher realms, you become such a pure open channel. And so
Mm,
I feel like when I was in that state outside, and like I said, I can't maintain that all the time. I mean, look
mm,
around us, in the world, it's tough. But my goal
yeah.
is to maintain that frequency 24/7. But I was in that state and I was like, I have everything I need right now. There is nothing I need. Like, do I think I need some
Mm,
sports car to be whole? No, I don't need anything. I have everything that I need right now. And I realized, like, in the higher realms, there is not any physical things at all. And so
mm,
you're already whole, your spirit, your soul. It was a crazy realization when I was into that state that I don't need anything. And that's
yeah.
why I think everything's attracting now because I genuinely feel whole and I genuinely don't need anything other than myself and
Yeah.
God. And I mean, of course, I love having people in my life but
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it reminds me, so my son is 7 years old now. So
Mm-hmm.
whenever I am playing music or saying certain things, like he catches on to that, and then he'll
Oh.
repeat it. So one of the sayings is like, and it's a bit of like not a song, but just rhythm to it. It goes, um, I'm at the right place at the right time, and then just that rhythm, like I'm at the right place at the right time, and just
Mm-hmm.
saying that. And then I remember we were going on a trip, and we were just shouting it out, and then just like,
Oh.
so
I
what are
love
some
that.
what are some other incantations, affirmations beyond? Because that one's powerful. I have it all right now, or I have everything I need right now.
Yeah.
What are some other ones where you've really like tapped into that sense of wholeness?
There's a lot of, different ones I've experimented with. One of them is like, I am value.
Oh wow.
Because realizing that we are all value, and this kind of ties into sales, but
Yeah.
so we can talk about that when we get to more sales. But I don't really have like specific affirmations that I work with. I guess
Mm,
I almost walk around with more of like just this conviction, knowing that it's all working out for me. And
right.
instead of getting too complex into all these affirmations, lately the biggest thing is just I have it all right here, right now. I feel like that
Mm,
is what has helped me a lot over the past week because sometimes
mhm.
having too many affirmations like
Yeah.
gets to be a lot. But um, yeah, the I am value one has really helped me with like sales mindset.
Yeah, for sure. And I know earlier we were talking about some of the projects you're working on, TikTok shop. And so for you, like when you talk about sales, yeah, like what are some of these projects and how's it going?
Yeah, so I am an entrepreneur at heart and I started, doing my own website and business, but I've taken a little side quest to TikTok shop for now. So, do you want me to
Mm,
start talking about kind of my own online business and then TikTok
yeah,
shop? Okay.
yeah.
So, on my website, I made in 2023, just it's called Marianne for World Peace. And I just
Mm,
wanted to help people kind of step into a better way of living, harmonizing the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies, because it's kind of like the
mm,
main four body system we're made up with. And
yes.
I realized, so I want to make this a business. And I realized selling is serving because you are helping people. There's a lot of negative connotations around selling, thinking, people think of a sleazy car salesman, but selling is serving and you
Mhm.
can help people. And my mission is to help people get to the highest version of themselves. So, my free
Mm.
offer, I knew I needed to create a business funnel. So, I started
Mhm.
with making a free offer, and it's called A Guide to Divine Alignment. And I knew that you have to make it extremely good and put a lot of thought
Right.
into it because you want to show people if you get this for free from me,
Mhm.
look at imagine what you're going to get if you pay. And so I
Yes.
put my heart and my soul into it. It's actually like a 29-page thing. It's probably over the top. It has
Mm.
has its own meditation on YouTube. It's a whole thing.
Okay.
And that was my first thing. And then over the summer, I launched one-on-one sessions,
Uh,
but it was a fail. And
really?
I learned, you have to push through and not give up. I
Oh.
had two people inquire, but it ended up not working out. I was charging $111 for 45 minutes. I figured I'd
Mm.
try it, but then
Yeah.
I kind of just decided to take it off my website. And I
Okay.
didn't let it get me down because I knew that that wasn't the only thing to try. Then I
Mm.
just made my first low ticket. Well, not just, it was at the end of the summer. I made a
Mm.
low ticket offer of $11 and
Okay.
I sold probably $200 worth of it, which I see that as a success instead of
Yeah.
thinking, oh, I only sold 200. I view that as wow, that many people wanted to, invest
Yeah.
in what I have to offer. And
Mm.
I am excited to continue making digital products because they help people. And wow, I'm getting chills. Like I have so much so many codes I want to put into digital products. And then Auramaxing is my next project I've started recording. It's a course on how to max out your aura. So
Yeah.
that's where I'm at with, my business. And that'll be a higher ticket offer. But I like
Mm-hmm.
the whole idea of having a business funnel where you have a link in
Yes.
bio, they see your free offer, and then I'm kind of figuring out how all of that works.
That's really cool. And then, like, how do you balance? Because it sounds like you're still doing the optometrist like
Yes,
full time, or how do you
part
balance
time.
that? Oh, part
Yeah,
time.
it's kind of difficult. Well, actually, it's not that difficult anymore. So, when I first graduated and became a doctor officially, I decided, you know what? I'm not going to work as a doctor. I'm going to go all in on my dreams. And I was
Oh.
on TikTok, like saying, I'm the matrix breaker. Like, because even though optometry is a wonderful field, I get to help people with their eyes. Like, it's a
Yeah.
big thing, and eyes are the window to the soul. And I always have aligned
Mm.
patients, but I still
Oh.
sometimes struggle with being confined to a certain place at a certain time even though I love it. And so I was
Mm.
like, and I was so burnt out from school. I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. So I took the whole summer off and I tried my own business and it didn't go as well as I expected trying to do it because there was
Yeah.
stress on it because it was either I make money from TikTok shop in my business or and that's the only option. So there was
Mm.
so much stress on it that it didn't work out and I had to end up working part-time optometry, which I
Oh.
actually tried to get full-time, but they said we can only give you 4 days. And then I said, okay. So I signed the
Yeah.
contract. Then they said, actually, we can only give you 3 days before I
Oh.
started. And
Wow.
now, then they actually had to take it down to 2.5 days,
Dang.
or yeah, 2 days and then 3 days and then 2 days, 3 days, like every week. So I feel like
Mm.
Source organized that because I was going to be stuck full time. I was about to go full time and then everything worked out for all of a sudden now I'm part time. Isn't that kind of crazy? From
Yeah.
someone who didn't want to work at all in optometry. So now I have my time.
Yeah, it's the intention, you know? It's the
Yes.
intention of like
Yes.
even so that's an important factor too. Like in the morning, what is your daily routine to get into alignment? I know I heard you say I get aligned clients. Well, a lot of times that's because you're in this
Yes.
state of openness, receiving and
Hmm.
like just that. So, what do you do in the morning to get your day started?
Yes. So I wake up, I do a meditation, I do breath work, I do yoga, journaling.
Mm,
I used to do Kundalini yoga in the morning, but it was just getting to be such a long morning routine.
yeah.
I always go outside and put my bare feet in the grass. I
Okay.
also get exposed to the sun, and I like
Mm,
to close my eyes and have the sun kind of like go into my
oh,
eyes, which, may be controversial as an eye doctor.
you're
I don't
right.
look
Yeah.
straight at the sun if it's high in the sky, but I believe
Right.
it's good to have it hit the retina through the eyelids. Now,
Okay.
I don't know if any optometrists are going to come for me, but then
And
I think this is what really sets the tone for my day. Every morning after I do all of those things I just said, I do a cacao ceremony. Have you ever heard of cacao?
I've heard of it, but like I don't know what the
Yeah.
ceremony entails.
Yeah, so I love cacao because it really gets you into your heart center and
Mm,
it's really known for opening your heart up. And so I do it with intention. I do a whole ceremony where
mm,
I start with calling upon God, Divine Mother, Divine Father, and the angels and my whole spirit team. And then I do like just different things throughout the ceremony, like,
mm,
setting intentions for the day. I bless the cacao. I do a prayer for protection over myself, slash
yeah,
setting my own energetic shield. And same with all my
mm,
loved ones, friends, and family. I like pray for them and do protection for them. Violet
yes.
flame invocation, just a whole like sometimes
Okay,
it's
yeah.
different every day. But yeah, I really like to do that in the morning and just set my intentions. I think that's huge.
Yeah. And who put you onto all of this? Like the cacao, the violet flame, things like that.
I have just stumbled across all of these things over the years.
Mm,
Yeah,
hmm.
it's just been a gradual thing.
Yeah, and it's partially also your energy whenever it is magnetic. Even myself, I will see things on YouTube or certain books when I'm out and about, and I'll hear certain things. So yeah, a lot of the times it's being magnetic, and attracting the things to us. So for you, on that note, what's the identity that someone should step into when they're looking to make a bigger impact, help more people, but also feel more fulfilled? Like, what's the identity they should step into?
Yeah, definitely just believing in yourself. You have to kind of walk around as if like you're that girl. Like you kind of have to just
Mm,
start acting as if I'm trying to think of how to describe this because for me, I really over the years since I've been posting on TikTok since 2022, that's how I started finding my voice to speak up because it takes a while for some people, not everyone, to
yeah.
start being able to express yourself online, to be authentic. So over the years, I found myself just kind of getting to this state and I wish that I could think like but actually I have been trying to do identity shifting of walking around
Mm,
as the 10K month version of me. So
yeah.
I actually have on there like Happy Wednesday 10K plus month me. Like because I am
Mm,
wanting to just act like what would the 10K month version of me do in every
yeah.
situation. So I actually for a week would carry a post-it note with reminders. I'm 10K month me, like all of these things. And then
Mm,
that started all of a sudden I started making choices that reflected that. And then you
yes.
just keep scaling. Okay, 50K month me because I have big dreams to believing that I could get to like
Yeah.
100K months because if other people can do it, so can I. So
Yeah.
in terms of other people like stepping into the identity, you just have to define who it is you want to be and then just start
Mm,
pretending that's who you are. They say you have to pretend to go to sleep before you go to sleep. I think you
mm,
just have to start acting as if. I hope that
yes.
helps. It's hard to explain.
I know. Well, yeah, and then we can also point people to resources like Neville Goddard talks a lot
Yes.
about that, and also it's partially like visualization,
Mm-hmm.
just then we can loop in like sports psychology. That's normal to visualize,
Yes.
scoring the goal or the basket, and it's the same thing here where you are fully stepping into it. But you said something very important there, and it's this idea of like walking around and just being that individual. So
Yes.
also the idea of movement, right? Not just sitting there and like all tired, but it's also like
Yes.
moving through the world as if you are already the goal fulfilled.
Yes. Wow, I just got chills because that is so true. I go on a lot of walks. I try to do
Mm-hmm.
morning and evening, sometimes in the middle of the day if it's not too hot. And here is my biggest hack for people that I think has shifted me dramatically. I will go on walks and record my voice on voice record.
Yeah.
And it really, really helps because your higher self kind of comes through as you're speaking. You
Yeah.
can figure out answers to things because you almost sometimes it's like not even it feels like I'm like hearing like the higher realms talk back to me instead of
Mm,
myself. It gets kind of
mm,
trippy, but I think when you walk and you talk and you say it as if it's already yours, because remember, we already have everything we need. We already
yeah.
are what we desire. And so walking and talking on voice record I think could be really good for people to start doing and getting your steps in, movement, being out in nature. It's like
Mm,
you're time maxing because you're doing all of those things together. Getting exercise,
mm,
it so I think people should really start like recording their voice and then they'll find their voice to start speaking more online. That's actually in my Auramaxing
mm.
course. I assigned my clients a task of doing the voice record to help them start getting confident on camera.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, it's interesting because then it's also really just practice.
Yes.
You know, we're practicing who we are and then how it feels like. Um, Another big thing too is for you, and even for me, right? Whenever I'm alone and yeah, I have music playing in the background, I have a trampoline, a little mini trampoline. I'll jump on
Oh
it and
yeah.
celebrate. And that's another thing, like celebrate the win that you
Yes.
anticipate. You know
Yes.
what I mean? So I don't know if you want to say anything about like that idea of celebrating or.
Well, I was just like, you reminded me I need to start doing that because I was doing that and then I forgot to do that. Like celebrating as if it
Mm.
already happened.
Yes, 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 yes. So where I was going with that is like at the end of the day, it's easy when you're alone or when you've got like
Yes.
your space. But then, my son comes home, my wife comes home, or then I, visit
Hmm.
my parents, my family, my friends, all this stuff. Then sometimes that can maybe I allow it to throw me off. But how do you manage that when then other people come into kind of your realm and your world?
Yeah, that is definitely something that I think can be very difficult. So I live
Mhm.
alone and I've been living on my own for like 2 years now. And I
Yeah.
really do enjoy that because I am
Yes.
someone who is very independent and I like to, I can't really do what I do if I had a roommate. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
they gotta
so
be like, what's going on?
yeah, but I think it's really important to just try to remember, like, when you're around other people, try to not conform to others, try to not, because our
Mm,
energy fields are all kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, you can
yeah,
take on other people's energy, like you talked about earlier. So,
yeah,
almost just like remembering, like, you are a powerful radiator of energy and like that you're not going to
mm,
take on other people's energy. If you're, let's say you have like you live with a roommate that is not, a positive person. Like I know a lot of people have situations and it may be hard. Like, I wish I had better advice for this because living on my own really it takes that away. But
I
at
know,
work,
yeah.
yeah, like at work, I see
All
patients
right.
all day long, and they're actually, most of them are, I get amazing patients. I get lucky.
Mm,
But,
mm,
sometimes if you're around people that the energy feels off, I just try to kind of like visualize it going away, invoke upon the violet flame to transmute it. But it's
yes, yes,
tough.
yes. It is challenging. And I think that also ties into this idea of development, right? Like there's a lot of talks about, you know, um, leadership development or career development, but for you, how important is spiritual development as you continue your journey?
I think it's very important, and it's something that I feel like I've almost gone too deep into. Like over the summer, I feel
Mm,
like I was almost too into it because you need to also stay grounded to reality as
mm,
well. And so I kind of just find myself being drawn to certain things. Like actually, things come to me. Like you said,
yeah,
you'll find certain videos will pop up or
yeah,
someone will say something or tell you a book. And so I
yeah.
don't really seek like spiritual development, it kind of seeks me,
Mm,
if that makes sense. And I try to, have a balance of that and then what I'm building because
mm.
sometimes like people go too far into spirituality, like has happened to me, I admit. So,
Yeah, yeah, likewise, no, for sure. And it's also when the student is ready, the teacher appears, and then we can receive
yes.
because you can get like the most magnificent wisdom in the world, but if you're not ready or you're like not even serious about it,
Yes.
it's just gonna not even do anything.
That is so true. Yeah.
So do you have like mentors and spiritual teachers or anybody you look up to or you listen to or anything like that?
There's really only a couple. So I don't know if you've ever heard of Eldora and Saman on Instagram, but
I have not.
I came across them like a couple years ago, and it was the first time I really resonated with any teachers. And so
Mm.
I really enjoyed what they were teaching about. I learned a lot from them. I actually joined their mystery school, which kind of
Oh,
comes at, wow, I just got chills. What you said when the student's ready, the teacher appears. So
yeah.
I learned a lot of spiritual techniques in that school. It was like
Mm.
once a month we did Zoom sessions. I learned about a lot of different concepts and like there's this concept of Maharic shielding. It's the highest level shield. It's actually kind of a complex shielding process. It's known as the 12D shield. So
Oh,
I was
wow.
in that mystery school for a while. They actually don't do it anymore. And then there's one other person. Her name is Brianna Mystic. She's kind of my mentor right now. I did like a little 8-week program with her. And
Mm,
I look up to her because she reminds me a lot of myself. She's vulnerable online, sharing her experiences with ADHD and all of these
mm,
different things. So I had 8 sessions with her, and I really learned a lot from her.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
Other than that, there's not many people in the spiritual scene that I look up to, but business wise, I really like when I first got into business, Grant Cardone, Natalie Dawson, Alex and
Mm.
Layla Hormozy. Those are the people that motivated me when I first started trying online business. I would look at their YouTube all the time.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. So then, how has that helped you in other areas, like let's say business, and maybe looping in the TikTok shop? Because I know for you that was, I don't know if it was a random thing you ran into, but it seems like you value it because it's like a
hmm
kind of a glitch in the matrix.
Yes. TikTok Shop is, I think, an amazing opportunity because you can make one video, and if it goes viral, you can make hundreds or thousands of dollars from one video. And it
Mm.
is not as easy as I'm making it sound. I've been doing it for a little over a year now, but I actually did it back in 2022. I would sell
Oh,
wigs. These people from
oh,
China mailed me wigs. I would live stream wigs and
no
then
way.
make sales, but I had to quit because school was getting really tough and I could not
Mm.
go live. But now I got back into it for a little over a year now, and it's just an amazing opportunity for sales because you learn a lot about how to make viral videos, which applies to your personal
Yeah.
accounts as well, about how to convert, about how to apply buyer
Mm.
psychology, and how to actually help people with your products. And so
Mm.
it's really amazing how that is an opportunity. Like one video made me like $800, and it was one I didn't even try on.
Oh,
But it's
yeah,
like the
yeah,
ones that I try too hard, they don't always hit. So it's
yeah.
really, I just think sales is amazing. And I'm really glad that it's starting to all click for me because sales really does help people. Like right now, I'm selling a shower filter right now, and I'm very passionate about filtered water for the shower. So
Oh.
it's like part of my, now it's like mission is fusing with TikTok Shop because I want to help people with that.
Mm. Yeah, see, that's the thing. And even for myself, when it comes to sales, it's always been purpose driven, right? Because then
Yes.
you also feel good. Like
Yeah.
I'm plugging you in, like I'm
Yeah.
hooking you up versus selling them something random, right? So,
Exactly.
um, as you look ahead to 2026 and beyond, how are you integrating some of these more modern tools like AI and other tools that are not very like spiritual in a way, but also can sometimes be needed because
hmm
it's new and it's fast as well. But how are you integrating that?
Very good question because AI is something I think that everyone needs to learn if they want to be very successful. I know a lot of people are against AI, but
Yeah.
right now, I saw Alex Hormozy recently posted a video like, if you don't get into AI, you're going to fall behind when it comes to
Yeah.
business. And so I'm
Mm.
trying to do a lot of research on it. I actually was using it to develop an app the
Oh,
other
really?
week. I was trying to develop an app to help people like me manage all of their projects. And it was going to be
Mm.
well, I don't really want to give the idea away, but I was trying to like incorporate AI into that because I know that there's a lot that you can do with it. And so I'm trying to stay on top of it and make sure I'm up to date with everything going on. I know that
Mm.
some people even use AI to do TikTok shop videos, and
Yeah.
they make AI influencers. So some people are absolutely
Mm.
printing with AI
Oh.
influencers. They don't have to record anything. The AI influencer will hold the product. How easy is that? So I almost want to try that, but also I want to sell
Mm.
myself. I want to be the one selling at the same time.
Yeah.
So I am still in the process of trying to figure out how, like, what routes of AI to go down, but it's evolving so quickly. And I think it's important to keep up to date with it. I mean, what are your thoughts on AI?
Yeah, 100% likewise. I think a big part of it too, it going back to what you stated is like it can be a little bit of fear mongering because then you feel,
Yes.
or like for example, me, I feel like I'm behind or I'm missing
Yeah.
out or
Same.
what do I not know? And then it kind of not sends me into a spiral, but then I'm like looking stuff up versus just executing on what I know I said I was gonna do.
Yep.
It's a very powerful tool. I just got into Claude, which is
Yeah.
a very powerful tool. And if I can be honest, I quit my subscription of ChatGPT
Yeah.
to move it over to Claude,
I need
so
to do that
yeah, because
for many reasons.
yeah, there's so many things you can do. And then also what I've been doing is getting into just trading and maybe,
Yeah.
some new thing like that. So I'll just take the chart, I'll screenshot it, I'll plug it in here, and then create a thesis, right? And then from there, it tells you like, hey, look out for this, look out for that. So,
Yes.
as we start to wrap up, from your perspective, what are some new things that you ran into that you're like, you know what, this is super interesting, or you know what, this is something that I really want to like share with the world?
I think, well, the biggest thing I was talking about was the whole I have it all now
Yeah.
concept. That is huge. I think everyone should look into the violet flame, which I will start
Yeah.
making more videos about it. I know it's
Mm.
hard for people to believe things you can't see, but I think people are awakening more and more as time goes on to that there's more beyond what we can perceive with our eyes. So I think I really just, my biggest message for humanity is to try to go into stillness. I think that's where everything
Mm.
stems. I think it's so important and it's so hard because everything tries to grab our attention. So for me, the biggest things are really just trying to believe in that everything is working out how it's supposed to. And every time I do that, things always do. And I
Mm.
think our realities are projections of our inner state and of what we believe. And so I
Yeah.
really want to help people get to the point of having this mindset and feeling confident that everything's working out, even when it doesn't look like it. Because right before I hit my
Yeah.
highest week on TikTok Shop, I was about to give up. I thought it's never
Mm.
going to work. Boom, I shifted to the abundance frequency by playing a YouTube video that had like a golden gateway. And it was like, it felt like I was like getting into the gateway as it was like, it was kind of a visual.
Oh
And
wow.
I walked around as I am the 10K month version of me. Boom, I hit my highest week ever. So I
No
think
way.
I just really want to help people grasp what I am still in the process of grasping. So I make a lot of videos as I learn things
Yeah.
because I feel like I teach myself as I teach on video.
Say that again.
So
You teach yourself? Oh, okay.
yeah,
So you
I
okay,
learn.
got yeah, you learn. You
Yeah, like
reinforce it.
yes. Like the interesting thing is when I'm on my balcony and connected to the earth and like I just am in that 0 point, when I record, I find things out as I speak that I didn't know.
Mm.
And then
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah,
teaching
yeah.
it. So it's a trippy thing and I'll admit it's uncomfortable to post things sometimes because I know
Mm.
it seems out there. It's not always comfortable to put yourself out there and I want to encourage people to try to start putting themselves out there because there's no better feeling than expressing your truth and you never know who you're going to help. I get DMs all the time of people
Yeah.
saying thank you. And it's kind of embarrassing sometimes to put your
Mm.
authentic self out there, but you attract the right people. So I think people should try to start putting themselves out there because the opportunities are insane when you start posting. I've had so many things like this, for example. I'd been
Yeah.
wanting to do a podcast for a while, and then the opportunities flow to you if you put yourself out there.
Yeah, that's so it's so interesting. So for the uninitiated, right? Let's say they're just afraid and they're just naturally
Mm-hmm.
nervous to like put
Yeah.
themselves out there. What do you recommend for that individual?
Well, that's what my Auramaxing course is about. It's actually, so Auramaxing is going to be a series of courses. The first one is all about camera confidence because I want everyone to maximize
Mm.
the opportunities to make money online. And you have to be able to speak on camera for most of them, unless you're doing trading or other things or an AI
Yeah.
influencer. But that's what I'm trying to
Even a
solve.
brand though, right? Like you're
Yeah.
branding yourself.
Yes, having a personal brand I think is very
Yeah.
important because I do not believe AI can replace a personal brand. We are connected, we are divine beings. AI is not necessarily connected with, you know what I mean, with a
Yeah,
soul or
yeah.
anything. Some people argue AI is, a divine, which
Yeah,
I'm not going to
there's
even,
a
I don't know. I mean,
I
everything is
know.
technically divine, right?
I saw this video that was very I don't even know what word to, it's kind of scary because it was talking about this guy who just prompted ChatGPT to be like, "Hey, give me yes or no answers or 2, 3 word responses." And long story short, at the end, yeah, it was getting into some pretty
Yeah.
controversial things which we can talk about, but that's maybe for another episode. But yeah,
Yeah.
beyond that, what else would you suggest? Because I think one thing I noticed about you is this idea of authenticity, right? And
Hmm.
I'm sure you practice and all that stuff, but it kind of feels like it's natural. It kind of feels like you're just doing it, right? But
Yeah.
from your experience, yeah, what should people do to step into maybe just putting themselves out there?
Yes, so I got lucky because I've been, for since 2022 putting myself out there. And I really just
Um,
started realizing I don't care what anyone thinks of me. Why does it matter
oh,
what anyone thinks of you? I think a lot of people are scared of judgment from others. And I could care less what
Mm,
people think. Like I genuinely don't care anymore. And I
mhm.
wish I had, that's what my course is. One of the modules is all about like programming people with stop caring what others think, because that is what holds people back. I recently had a girl
Yeah.
with TikTok Shop reach out and say, "What did you do? Block everybody from you if you were embarrassed about TikTok Shop?" And I said, "If that's what you need to do, then do it." But
Um,
I really think to get to the point of just you don't care what anyone thinks because you hold yourself back if you don't post your truth. What people think
mm,
really doesn't matter. And I'm just lucky that I don't care. I wish I could like help people get to this point. And so that's what my course is going to help with, trying to explain how to get to this point faster. Because I, over the years, just stopped caring. But
yeah.
it's still not comfortable sometimes, I'll admit, even to this day. Sometimes I'm like, that was too much, but I'm like, this is
Oh,
me, so I don't care, you
yeah.
know?
Yeah, and also because if it's okay to talk about it, like you've also had accounts actually like taken down, right? So you
Yes.
would think that can like cause you to not want to be authentic and put
hmm
yourself up, but maybe it's done the opposite.
Yes, I actually want to go 10 times harder now. I just got banned on TikTok again yesterday with 12,000 followers, which I was shadow banned for months. I was getting thousands of followers at a time, and then it stopped at 12K and I was getting no views because they don't want certain people to be exposing, or just even I was just talking about spirituality, and sometimes they suppress content like that. So I was banned
Mm,
in 2024. I got my account back because I kept spamming them, and now I'm banned
awesome.
again. And I just want to go harder now because I feel like getting banned is a good sign. I know someone else who got banned way more times than me, and he speaks very high level truths. And
Mm.
so I think getting banned is a good sign.
Yeah, yeah. And that's cool too. It's also your perspective, right? Because also since
hmm
you're in a pretty positive mental state, you can view things from that perspective as well, right? So
Yes.
let's wrap up with one of my favorite questions, which is if for one reason or another this was the last message that you and I were to share with the world, what is that final message that you would share?
Let me tune in. I feel like my deepest message for humanity is to go within. And I know I'm a broken record. And I feel
Mm,
like that's my videos lately is just taking time to go into stillness. And here's another thing, have fun. Try to bring joy back to things because we put ourselves in such state of stress. For example, with TikTok Shop, I was like, I am on the grind. Like I am time blocking
mm,
every hour of my day now, but you
uh,
need to bring joy into it. So we need to bring back joy and laughter. And it's tough when you're in certain situations, but to find ways to bring more joy and to not take things so seriously. Because when you're in
mm,
that joyful, playful state, like whatever your work is, for example, making shop videos with laughter and joy instead of being like, thinking this sale has to happen for me to live. Like, I feel like
yeah,
people create energetic resistance based on the energy that they're doing something from. Does that kind of make sense? Like how,
yeah,
yeah, like bringing the joy back, because that's what my videos hit when I'm in that state versus when
mm,
I'm stressed and I film from that state, it doesn't
yeah.
hit. So
That's
that's, I think, my biggest message to humanity is try to go within and find stillness and try to be in joy. Try to find joy even when it's tough.
That is so powerful. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the viewers and the listeners. But anything else, any kind of parting thoughts?
I think we covered a lot. There's so much we could go into. I really enjoyed being on this podcast. It's nice to be able to express a lot of things about the
Yes.
world, and I really hope that people gained some assistance with
Oh,
this.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
I'm really
much.
happy with our conversation.
Yeah, thank you so much, and thank you for the viewers and the listeners.
Thank you. God bless everyone.
God bless.